Closed captioning for great tastes is presented by Manitoba Pork. Locally grown, globally preferred. Manitoba Liquor Mart presents Great Tastes of Manitoba. Great Tastes is brought to you by GreatTastesMB.ca. Great Tastes is sponsored by Manitoba Agriculture, Food and Rural Development.
Welcome to Great Tastes of Manitoba. My name is Des Daniels. I'm happy to be your host here from the Grant Park Liquor Mart Education Center. There is so much deliciousness with pork, and that is why we are excited. It's the best off the bone today with Manitoba Pork. We have Susan Reese here. Hello.
Hi.
And of course, Ben Rush, who is going to do some beverage pairings for us in just a little bit. But first, Susan, tell us about what we're going to be making today.
Okay, well, on today's show, we're going to focus on bone-in cuts just because of their fantastic natural flavor and texture. So we're going to start off with some 5-spice pork riblets. This is a fun finger food that you can serve as an appetizer or an entree. And then for our second dish, we're making grilled margarita chops. It's Mexican inspired, and as you might have guessed, there is some fresh lime juice and tequila in the recipe. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to end off with an easy showstopper centerpiece, a maple glazed rack of Manitoba pork that's infused with some fresh garlic and thyme.
Can't wait to get into that. So you've got a little bit of little bit to work with here, a lot to work with.
This is going to be awesome. This is going to be totally awesome. I just had one question though about the five spice pork riblets. Was there anything else other than the 5 spice that's going to be on the riblets at all, or?
Yeah, actually, there's a really nice glaze that goes with that. It's there's a lot of different flavors in it, but essentially tangy, like sweet and sourish, some classical sort of teriyaki kind of flavors.
I can work with that. Oh, yes.
You better be able to work with that.
Worry about nothing. You're in good hands.
We feel very confident. Ben, we'll talk to you in a few minutes.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you. All right, here we go. Chinese-style pork riblets. So we've got a lot to get to here. And I guess number one is we got to start preparing, what's the cut we have here?
Okay, so we're using a side rib today. Side ribs come from the belly, as opposed to the back ribs that we're all familiar with, which come from the loin. Okay, so different primal cuts. And this is a sweet and sour cut. So what they've basically done is taken the side rib and cut it in half to make these thin strips.
Okay.
Okay. The first thing we need to do is to take off the membrane. So that's the piece of extra membrane connective tissue on the back of the ribs.
So this is either going to be a lot more difficult than I'm expecting or a lot easier than I'm expecting. So I know which one I'm rooting for.
It's actually a lot easier. So
okay.
I've taken a butter knife and I've essentially lifted under the membrane. Okay, so you're just going to lift it up a little bit to sort of get it going, right?
Get started, yeah.
And then the best thing to do is you grab your paper towel and you essentially just pull.
Well, you weren't kidding.
So it's just that easy. And the reason that you want to do this is because it'll allow the spices to really penetrate through the meat, right? And you can see too that these ribs, unlike back ribs, are a little less meaty, okay? The bone is a little bit more flat, but they're also more economical as well. So, you know, a great dish or a great choice for you're feeding a crowd, watching the game on TV.
Everybody wants to know a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Very
so
tactile
this is great for
experience.
That.
Okay, great.
Yes. And so all we're going to do now is season these ribs with a little bit of salt and pepper.
Okay, simple enough. And you see you're going to kind of massage it in there a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of massaging. Like you don't have to be too fussy. We've got our 5 spice here, which just smells amazing.
You know what? I just discovered Chinese 5-spice relatively recently. There's some really cool stuff in there. Like there's cinnamon and what else is there? Star anise.
Yeah.
Is that how you say that?
There's some fennel and usually some pepper as well.
Okay.
And we would do this on both sides. Okay. I'm not gonna do the whole thing right now. And then basically we put them on a cookie sheet and put them in the oven for a couple of hours on about 300 Fahrenheit.
Okay.
And you're gonna turn them every 30 minutes or so just to get both sides nice and brown. And if they're browning too much, just cover them with some some foil to keep them from burning.
Perfect. They're going to do their thing, and then once they've done their thing, this is kind of what we end up with.
Yeah, so now
what
we've
happens?
just taken these out of the oven, so we're moving towards our glaze. So as we were saying before, this is a sweet and sour glaze, lots of flavors in here. We've got soy sauce, grapefruit juice, some hoisin sauce, rice vinegar, ketchup, honey, a little bit of an Asian hot sauce, and some fresh ginger and garlic. And you're gonna basically mix that all together and let it simmer for about 30 minutes, just until it thickens up a little bit and reduces.
Okay.
So then we come over here, and we're just gonna essentially mop these ribs with the glaze, and you would do that on both sides and put them back in the oven, 10 minutes, flip them over, do the other side, another 10 minutes.
And they come out super tender.
Yes.
One of the things I wanted to ask though is sometimes people boil ribs first. Is that necessary? Is that something some people swear by that?
Right. Well, so today with pork being so much leaner than a decade or more ago, I've stopped boiling them just because it's an extra step, and we never really want to boil them. We would want to more steam them, and essentially that was done just to get more of the fat out. But the fat is the flavorful part. So, and again, with pork being leaner, you really don't need to do that. The main thing is cooking low and slow.
Perfect.
And then after they're done, we would cut them into individual servings, garnish them with some green onion and some sesame seeds, and you're good to go.
You're good to go. We can start gnawing away on the Chinese-style pork riblets. They look great, smell great. When we come back, we are going to do something super cool. Grilled margarita chops. Can't wait to get into that when we come back on Great Tastes of Manitoba.
You're watching Great Tastes of Manitoba, brought to you in part by Manitoba Agriculture, Food and Rural Development.